Hey guys, this is Mario again, coming out to another movie review. Today is a movie that came out about 12 years ago. Yeah, 12 years ago, because it came out in July of '99, so 12 years ago. And I've only seen it once before, and it was a couple years ago, I believe, in the summer of '05. So, yeah, it's been 6 years since I've seen this movie. And I was sick at the time, not like throwing up sick, like, why am I watching this movie? No, but sick as in, I'm not, a movie I'm watching for the first time, it'd be kind of hard to concentrate on it, like that. And I've been meaning to watch it ever since I got it on VHS, I've just been neglecting to, but one of my good buddies on here, Matt, he recently did an hour-long review of this film, in which he did a very good job on that, because apparently this movie gets haters now, which I can see probably why. This movie, how it is not everyone's cup of tea, but it basically is to the found footage genre what the My Bloody Valentine remake is to the remake genre, and what Avatar is to the 3D craze. It started this. It wasn't the first film to be in this type of thing, but it was the one that started this craze. Of course, the film I'm talking about is the Blair Witch Project. Here, my VHS copy, and it's actually in pretty good condition, because I watched the whole tape, and no little bits where it comes up on the screen and does that fuzzy thing, which for a 12-year-old VHS is kind of surprising. But sorry, that's my mic. But not surprising, but I'm glad. Well, now my thoughts on the film. I actually enjoyed the film. Which, of course, like I mentioned before, I was sick first time, so I couldn't really judge the film. I mean, I don't remember that much from my first viewing of it, except the ending and a couple other parts, so because I wasn't really paying attention. But now, after watching it, I can honestly say I enjoyed it. Now, some of the complaints I really hear about this movie is the acting, and while watching the movie, I'm like, you're saying this is bad acting. I will say it's not like Oscar or Golden Globe worthy material, but it's serviceable acting. I mean, I bought it. Like, I bought that these are people shooting a documentary, having fun at first, only to get in over their heads, get lost in the woods, start getting a little scared by the stuff that happens, and then eventually, what else happens? The directors, I felt, did a good job. There's no musical score before a film like this. You don't need the musical score. Like, this is a movie with a lack of music, I guess, makes it creepier. And also, this is also a film where the lack of seeing stuff makes it creepier, because you don't really see what's going on, you just see it from the characters' points of view. So that makes it scarier. I guess it's in your mind that makes it scarier. And as I said, this started that whole found footage craze, but this is probably one of the few films in this genre that's actually a very good film, because let's think of what else comes to mind. There's the Paranormal Activity films, which always get the pass. Just from the trailers, I don't see why. I haven't seen them, but there's that movie that's sort of a found footage film, The Fourth Kind. I thought it was an okay film. Off the top of my head, I can't think of any other ones. Let's see if there's a found footage. I'm going to check Wikipedia, see if they're recovered footage. You'll type in recovered footage in Wikipedia, maybe it'll have a list. Apollo 18, yeah. Yeah, Apollo 18 and recovered footage. Cannibal Holocaust was the first one. I can't really think of any other ones off the top of my head, and it looks like there's no page on Wikipedia for it. So, if you guys can think of any other ones, point them out in the comments. But like I said, I had fun with the film. Now, for the people, like I said, it's not going to be a film everyone's going to like, and part of that might stem from the advertisement for the film when it came out, because I remember all the advertisements, all the trailers and stuff, and the funny thing is that some people actually thought this was real. I mean, for a while I thought it was real. I mean, look at how the film was advertised, guys. Just look at what it says on the front. In October of 1994, 3 student filmmakers disappeared in the woods near Burkittsville, Maryland while shooting a documentary. A year later, their footage was found. When you hear something like that, you think that it might be real, but Matt put it the best in his review. If this actually happened, wouldn't the parents of the people that disappeared get involved in it? No, you cannot show this in theaters. Either that or they would cut out what actually happened at the end. So that should have been the first clue that this was a film. And also, if you thought that it was actually something that happened all the way through the film, I think at the beginning of the credits will probably tell you it's an actual film, because the first credit in the film is written, directed, and edited by Daniel Myrick and Eduardo Sanchez. That should be the first hint. And also the claims of the scariest film since The Exorcist and other stuff like that. That kind of hypes the film up, and for some people, they're like, what? When I saw the film when I was sick, that's kind of what I felt a little bit. But like I said, I was sick, so kind of hard to judge a film when you're sick if you're seeing it for the first time. And also, sometimes early on in the film it goes back and forth between them just shooting the shit and talking stuff, and them, showing black and white documentary film. And also the fact that it's a handheld thing and moves like it's not an actual film. That might not be everyone's cup of tea, but I had no problem with it. And then also some of the stuff I mentioned earlier, like you don't see things. Some people might have a problem with that, lack of score, stuff like that. For me, if you have a problem with those things, it's just a little nitpicking, but like I said, it just adds to the atmosphere of the film. Now, I'm 7 minutes in, I haven't talked about the plot, but anybody who's heard of this should know about the plot of the Blair Witch Project. It's 1994, these 3 friends, they're going out into the woods in this town in Maryland to film the story about the Blair Witch, who apparently the Blair Witch was this woman named Ellie Kidward, who was hanged in the 18th century after people said she murdered some children and they claimed she was a witch. How do you know she is a witch? She looks like one. What does she look like? What does a witch look like? She does have a wart. Oh yes, I see. We must burn her. Yeah, it's a Monty Python reference. You can never go wrong with a Monty Python reference. It is the rabbit. But they interview the townsfolk and find different interpretations. They meet with someone who claims to have seen the Blair Witch and some other people who saw some crazy stuff. Then they go into the woods. First, they're just looking around, find some stuff. They find a bunch of stuff like, these stick figurines, like that, what you see in a lot of the trailers. You see some creepy stuff. And then after they film at the cemetery, some creepy stuff starts to happen. Like one night they wake up, they see these piles of stones around their tent, and then other bunch of stuff. And it seems like someone's following them, like maybe someone from the town followed them to pull a prank on them, or maybe they actually have run into the Blair Witch. That's the thing about the film, is that's the reason why I think it's good that you never see anything, because you never know up until the ending of the film if it's someone pulling a prank on them or if it actually is the Blair Witch. Granted, with how the film ends, that's a problem some people have. I don't have a problem with it, because Matt also put this best in his review. With how they advertise it on the cover, you already know how the movie's gonna end. You know it's gonna end with them, something bad happening. If they disappeared and then only their footage is found, you know it's not gonna end well for them. I mean, it's not like in a slasher film where you don't know who's gonna die, unless it shows it in the trailer, but in this you already know they're gonna die. So you go in there knowing nothing good is gonna happen to them. At least in theory. Maybe one will escape, maybe one will be abducted by aliens, I don't know. Yeah, maybe the Blair Witch was an alien. But point is, up until the ending, you do not know if it's actually the Blair Witch, some people from town, or maybe some other people, maybe a hobo. Maybe it's Hobo Michael Myers out there. We don't know. You just don't know. That's the ingenious part of the film. That's why I think it's ingenious. It leaves you up to your imagination. I personally think it probably is the Blair Witch. for me, that makes a little bit more sense. Or at least someone who is possessed by the Blair Witch. Either or, but for me, that makes a little bit more sense than just, going into the deliverance thing. I'm gonna make you squeal like a piggy out here in the Maryland woods. Yeehaw! Squeal, piggy, squeal! Never can go wrong with a deliverance reference. Everybody loves Raymond knows that. Some say a canoe ride will be romantic. Guess you never saw Deliverance. Now, 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 now. Yeah, that would just be funny. Someone put that music over a scene in this movie. Now, 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 now. But anyway, back on topic. I don't know what else to say about this movie. For me, it is a good film. I would probably put it up at least in the middle of my favorite horror film list. I don't know. I'll probably do that list sometime next year, but it would probably be around the middle, maybe towards the top of the middle. I have to say, for the budget it was made on, which sources say it was $20,000 to $750,000, it was done pretty well on that budget, I will say. Granted, with how it is filmed, you could probably see why they had to do it on a budget like that, but it's creative how they did it. Now, of course, I hear another film that was done like this a couple years earlier, or a year earlier, Last Broadcast, which Matt just did a rant on, which I've only heard a few good things about it. Not that really many good, positive things about it. They claim that Blair Witch Project ripped them off, but from what I hear, no, they didn't. They didn't rip you off. You're a film that alternates between found footage and stuff, and also the whole thing of what you're talking about, the Jersey Devil, you barely touch on from what I hear. So maybe they just took the same idea, just made it better. I can't comment fully on that because I haven't seen the Last Broadcast yet, but when I do, you'll probably get a video on it. I don't know why I'm sounding like a southerner right now. I just don't know. I guess it just would make fun of them. I just gotta bring into it. I'm fancy book learning. Yeah. Now my rating for the Blair Witch Project, because I can't really think of anything wrong with it. I mean, I like the acting, like I said earlier. It's not award-winning. The lack of music I have no problem with. The atmosphere I thought was good. I'm 5 out of 5. What do I recommend the movie? Yeah. What I will say to you, if you have heard of the movie, never seen it, go into the movie. Just ignore any of the hype you have heard, from the trailers, the scares movie. Just go into the movie. Try to go into the movie completely neutral. And then watch the movie. But do know it is a found footage film, but it was before all the other ones. And know that of course it's gonna have a bad ending, downbeat ending, but try not to let that affect how the movie. Well, actually, you can't go in there not letting it affect you, because if you know it's a downbeat ending, you know that crap is gonna happen. But other than that, don't let it affect you, because sometimes when a movie has a downbeat ending, you go, "This movie fucking sucks." If it's one like that it's a downbeat ending that comes out of nowhere, granted. But this is a movie that the downbeat ending the movie earns. Sometimes a movie can do that, and this is one of those cases. Just try to go in there letting know that the downbeat ending is kind of earned. Anyway, that concludes my review of the Blair Witch Project.